Hi folks, it's Darcy from the Purposeful Welcome back to another edition of DRYCEMBER, where we're taking a bite-sized chunk out of learning to dehydrate all month long. And today we're on day 28 of this whole series. I lose track of where we are. But before we get started on learning how to store your dehydrated food, I wanted to share a little something special that I've created for you. For those who have been asking for it, I've had a few people ask for something like this. And for those of you who may not even know that you needed this in your life, that's kind of presumptuous, but it was kind of funny. But just in case you want it, for those of you who like to have things in reference on your tablet or on your phone, or maybe even a hard copy that you put into your notebooks, I've created what is the Dehydrating Basics, the facts, tips, and tricks from this entire series. It is a PDF for ebook, basically, that you can download to your tablet or to your phone, or you can print it out. That's available in my shop. The description will be down below and in the iCards above. It will be only $3 until the end of the year, and once the first comes around, it's going to raise it to $4, a whole dollar. But if you want to grab it in the store, it's going to be $3 for the next few days. So let's get started, shall we? All right, so today we're going to be talking about how to store your freeze-dried foods. We're not talking about freeze. I've never even freeze-dried anything. I'm sorry. We're talking about how to store dehydrated foods. That's what we're talking about. So I've got a few options for you, and we're going to run through these pretty quickly. And what I'm going to do is that while I talk generally about these options, I'm going to leave a link in the iCard above and the description box below, a more detailed video on the actual way to do it, because I don't have all that time for these small videos during DRYCEMBER. So I'll leave those links. They're available to you here and down in the description box towards the end of the video. Okay, here are some options. If you are drying foods for a snack that you're going to have in the next few days, you don't need to do anything special. Don't leave them out on the counter for all the buggies in the air to get to them, but you can even store them in zip-top bags, and that's fine. What you don't want to do is use zip-top bags for long-term storage in your pantry for more than a month or so, because those bags are air permeable, which means that air can come through the plastic or through the zipper top, because it's not airtight. It's just air resistant. Is that a good word? You can see it if you've ever done this. Have you ever put food inside of a zipper bag and you've rolled it, or you squeezed it, or you've even used the straw method where you suck all the air out of it, then close it off, put it away for storage, especially for in the freezer, and then come back like 2 weeks later and notice that there's air in the bag again? That's because it's air permeable and air gets inside that bag. So it's not the best option for long-term storage, but for a short term, for running to the, if you're going to go hiking or camping or something, it's fine. Use it. Another option, if you really like that zipper effect, is using something like a silicone zipper bag. These are reusable. They're not cheap. Not cheap at all, but this could be an option for you for doing some short-term, better air-resistant storage if you don't have room for doing some of these other things. Another way you can do it also is with some of the zippered Mylar bags. They give you the protection against the light. They give you protection against the water because of the way the bag is, and they have a zipper top here, but again, those aren't good for long-term storage. So we have three and a half major options, okay? Okay, let's start with the most obvious would be glass jars. Airtight glass jars are probably the most versatile kind of storage that you can use. It does not have to be a canning jar. It can be a jar with a one-piece lid, as long as that lid has this little silicone ring on the inside of it that forms the airtight seal. You might find this in one-piece jars lids that you can buy online to go over your canning jars. You find them in commercial products where you've bought salsa, spaghetti sauce, any other kind of sauce or product that's inside of glass. Those can be reused for storing your dried foods, as long as that lid has a seal on it on the inside that creates that airtight seal. Now, if you have a bunch of lids like this that don't have it, there are silicone rings that you can purchase online that works the same way, that you can insert it inside the lid and it helps create that airtight seal. But even clamp jars like this, these work. They're fine. If this is what you have, use it, because that's what they're made for. They're made for airtight storage for glass. They're made for airtight storage for your food, for your pantry. Try that again, Darcy. Okay, I find glass the most versatile. Most of all of my food, basically at this point, all of my food is in glass for long-term storage. I do use some plastic things like the OXO containers and stuff for my dry goods. I don't like using those particular containers for dry storage in dehydrated goods because they're not all properly airtight. You do have some options for plasticware that are like, this is a PrepWorks container for spices and stuff, but you can use any of this kind of storage because it does have the seal, it clamps down, and it's airtight. Okay, this works really well. But you've got Rubbermaid, Brilliance, you've got Progressive. There are a whole bunch of those brands. There's Snap and Lock. There are a lot of brands, but the thing that you need to watch for with plasticware is to make sure it is truly airtight. Now, this you can't squeeze; it's not going to happen. But if I had a softer sided plastic with a lid that snaps on, that does not clamp down but just snaps on, and even with some of the clamp on ones, you have to worry about this because we bought cereal boxes like this and found out that they're not. If you can squeeze the container without trying to squeeze the top where it messes with that lid, but if you squeeze the middle of the container and you can hear or feel air coming out of this lid space, it's not airtight. So it's not good for your dehydrated goods if you want long-term storage. All right, another option for you are vacuum seal bags if you have a vacuum sealer, okay? These are plastic bags that look like this. They're heavier duty plastic than most zipper top bags, and especially if you're not getting in the really cheap range of these bags, you don't want to buy the super cheap ones because the plastic is really thin and doesn't work well. But these are available in individual bags that are already sized for you, or you can buy them on the roll like this where you can just cut it down to the size that you need. On the cut in, you put it into your vacuum sealer on the seal feature and it just seals that in. You put your food in on the other side. You put it into the mouth of your vacuum sealer and you seal it, and then it becomes airtight storage for your food. The problem with this for dehydrated foods is that many dehydrated foods are actually sharp on the edges and can poke holes in this plastic, which then allows air and moisture to get inside of the bag. Okay, so it's no longer vacuum sealed and it's allowing air and moisture inside. So some options that you can use are double bagging all of that food. So you might want to wrap it in parchment paper, then vacuum seal it inside your vacuum sealing bags. You might want to use a zipper top bag to put it inside first and then vacuum seal it, or you might want to double bag within this stuff to put it in. But it gets kind of expensive to do that, so I would use the parchment paper option, or a paper bag even will work. Something to wrap those edges so that they don't poke holes into your plastic bags. These are super convenient, they're really handy, they're not rodent proof, so if you have an issue with rodents, you're going to want to use these bags and put them inside something else that the rodent can't get into so easily. I don't use these for dehydrated goods or for basically any food storage, any dry food storage. What I use these for is for my freezer. That's what I use these for, because for freezer storage, these are great. Now the last option are Mylar bags. I happen to keep a package handy that is like a three size version that allows me to use whatever size I would need. This particular version has this size. It's actually 4 sizes. This size, and then like this jumbo size here. So of course I'll leave a link down below if you want to look at that. But what these do is that these go one step further past the vacuum sealer bags, and that they protect your food from air and light and moisture in this convenient bag. So how this works is you have a bag, you open it up, you put your food inside, and once, oh, I should have taken this out and had this prepped ahead of time, sorry, forgive me. Then on the inside of the bag, after you put your food in, you would then put the appropriate amount of oxygen absorbers that you would need for the size bag you're looking at. And if you need to know that, there's a chart available in the link down below to a blog post on my website where you can get that information. We talked about the other day in the O2 versus moisture absorber. You would put this inside here, you would put this into the mouth of your vacuum sealer, and you would seal it. You don't need to vacuum seal it because it won't vacuum seal. But you seal it, and the O2 absorber works as your vacuum sealer. Okay, you can also use an iron or a hair straightener for doing this kind of the sealing on the edge of this. You don't have to have a vacuum machine to do that. And so now you have vacuum sealed long-term storage for your dehydrated goods, and those foods will not poke holes through this. The thing is that this is also not rodent proof. It's rodent resistant, but it's not rodent proof. So you'd want to put all of your bags inside something else to protect from rodents if you have that issue. Now, there are Mylar bags that you can get that have a ribbed inside. See, this one is not ribbed, it's smooth. There is a ribbed version of these that you can purchase that do make this available to vacuum seal the bag with your machine, and you won't have to use the O2 absorbers. So please ask any questions that you have down in the comments below. I make an effort to answer every single question that I get. And if I don't know the answer, I will go and research it, because oftentimes you will think of something that I didn't cover in the video when I was preparing for it. And if you missed yesterday's video, it's going to be right here for you. The whole series is going to be available for you right here if you need to catch up on anything. And don't forget that the book, Dehydrating Basics, Facts, Tips and Tricks is available in my store if you'd like a printed version of this entire series. So thank you again for watching, and I will see you tomorrow on another edition of DRYCEMBER.